plays into also what's going on the southern border right now. More than 221,000 migrants were encountered at the southern border last month, a new record for the Biden administration. The White House is still planning to repeal the public health order allowing the immediate expulsion of migrants trying to enter the United States due to COVID-19, known as Title 42. In a crazy way, allowing the mask mandate to fall makes it a lot easier to repeal Title 42. But there are a number of Republican states right now suing to keep Title 42 in place. So Republicans arguing that COVID is still an emergency. According to a NewsNation source, the Department of Homeland Security is now preparing as many as 18,000 migrants a day once Title 42 expires. It's 500,000 people a month. Multiple states have sued to force the administration to keep Title 42 in place. And now more and more Democrats are coming out against the repeal of Title 42. One of them, Texas Representative Henry Cuellar, joins us now from Texas. Congressman, it's good to see you, sir. We appreciate it. Why the split with the administration on this?
Well, because I live on the border. I don't just come and visit once in a while. And I see what's happening. Look, right now, 40% of the Border Patrol is actually out on the field. If you look at the Laredo sector of the valley, only 40% are actually doing Homeland Security. The rest of them are changing diapers, are making food for the migrants, and I don't think that's their job. So once you get rid of this Title 42, this 18,000 individuals a day are going to come in. And by the way, I heard the story about the mask mandate, a court order. But what about Secretary Javier Becerra? My understanding that he extended the public federal emergency another 90 days to July of 22. So you can't have a public health emergency in the United States and then say that at the border, everything is fine.
Understand the point. Explain to me, you think about the Democrats now who have come out against this. You are among the list. Senators from Arizona, Joe Manchin, obviously from West Virginia, Peters of Michigan, who's in charge of the Democratic National Senatorial Committee, has come out saying, unless we have a well-thought-out plan, I think this is something that should be revisited and perhaps delayed. What do you all understand about the politics of 18,000 people a day at the border that so many other Democrats who want Title 42 repealed don't understand?
The power of a picture, the power of a photograph, the image of thousands of people crossing the border every day feeds into the narrative that the border is open, that there's no law and order at the border. So the images of people just streaming across the river means that we don't have law and order at the border and people are going to come in. Look, my father was born in Guerrero, Tamaulipas. He became a legal resident and then a naturalized citizen. It took him a long time to go through that process. Right now, we're seeing people like you're showing on the screen right now that are just coming across. They'll get on a Greyhound, they'll get on an airline and fly into different parts of the United States. This is not the system that my father grew up, or a lot of people grew up down here. And this is one of the reasons Democrats have to be very careful, because Hispanics, for example, my district is over 80% Hispanics. A lot of the Hispanic Democrats are not happy by the images that you're showing right now. The borders should not be open.
It's a fascinating divide within the Democratic Party, and I applaud any politician who's willing to come out against the sort of the party line and sound the alarm bells about what's happening. So we appreciate you joining us. I want to drill down on this just a little bit more. What is the chance that immigration and the pictures that you talk about that Democrats don't understand are coming will be the deciding point in the midterm elections?
Look at what happened in South Texas this last election, where Trump did much better than Biden. I mean, it was not a political realignment. A political realignment is where all Democrats lose. But Trump did much better. And there were two factors that were involved down here in South Texas: getting rid of oil and gas jobs. And then number two, defunding the police or open borders. So this is something that the Republicans have caught on, and Democrats, and I understand what is happening down here. Democrats need to understand that this is a narrative that will be used against them in the November election. So it's a policy issue, but then it shifts quickly into the P of politics.
Congressman, when you talk to fellow Democrats, I'm thinking the more progressive types who want Title 42 repealed and largely believe in an open border policy, and as the administration is sort of put forth, what is their pushback to your what sounds like a pretty reasonable point?
Well, they just feel that if anybody takes a different position, we're anti-immigrants, and we're not anti-immigrants. We believe in immigration reform. I supported immigration reform. My father was born in Guerrero, Tamaulipas. He became a legal resident, then a naturalized citizen. It was a process that took place. This thing about people jumping the line makes a lot of my constituents very uncomfortable. This fact that people are just streaming across the river. And remember, in the old days, it was Mexican adults, single adults that would come in and work. Then you had family units. Now you got people from over 55, 60 countries that are coming in because they understand that the border is open. And I will tell you this also, the ones that are winning in this one are the criminal organizations. They charge from $6,000 to $15,000, depending on the circumstances. Let's take $8,000 average per individual. In the last 6 months, we had over 1 million encounters, the ones that we caught. Over 1 million encounters. You multiply that by $8,000, that's $8 billion that the criminal organizations made, not on selling drugs, but on just passing people across. So
yeah, you think about that $8 billion, that's 100% profit. Cost of goods sold for the cartels on letting people across is zero. $8 billion is all profit that goes into all sorts of things. Take this going forward. Have you heard anything from the Biden administration? Because I know you had private conversations with them before you had these public conversations. Have you heard anything that they seem like they're aware of what's going to happen and are trying to get to stop the train before it flies off the bridge you described?
Well, as you mentioned, I did talk to them, asked me for my opinion. I said, you know my opinion very well. I'm asking them, I said, look at the policy, but also look at the politics here for Democrats.
They just don't seem to be listening to you.
They're not listening to me. They're not listening to Joe Manchin. They're not listening to Kelly. They're not listening to Senator Peters, and so many other people. Look, they have to understand one thing. The policy is important, but the politics is extremely important here. And remember, the presidents run every 4 years. Some of us have to run every 2 years, and they need to keep that in mind. I want to keep the House majority for the Democrats, but we need some help from the White House.
Boy, that is a plea, if I have ever heard one, to have been made privately and now publicly. Texas Democratic Representative Henry Cuellar. Sir, it's good to see you as always. It's been too long.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.